Thanks, Goose. The Long Dark is an upcoming first-person survival game currently in alpha. It's set in the post-apocalyptic wilderness of North America, where it's very cold and wolves are after you.
Never felt so cold in my life.
This is a crowd-funded indie game from a brand new studio, but the team behind it have some serious AAA cred. Games like Mass Effect, Saints Row, God of War, and Red Faction are just a few on their collective resumes.
I could so go another Red Faction right about now. They've also signed up some pretty big voice talents, such as ex-Solid Snake David Hayter and FemShep Jennifer Hale.
There is a full story coming in episodes later on, but this alpha just gives us a look at the sandbox survival chunk of the game. But this is by no means the full open world experience.
You play as Will Mackenzie, a bush pilot who crashed his plane due to some mysterious apocalyptic event. There's no plane wreckage or anything like that, though as we said, the story side of things is yet to come.
With each new life, you're dropped randomly into a fairly large pre-built world and left to survive as long as possible. You very quickly realise that that's not an easy task though, especially if they drop you into the middle of a blizzard at night. Yeah, thanks.
It's pretty punishing, isn't it? Everything is a ticking clock just waiting to kill you. At any given time, you could be suffering from one of a long list of ailments, including starvation.
Never thought I'd be dying from starvation.
Hypothermia.
Can't feel my hands.
Exhaustion. Dehydration.
Need a drink.
Food poisoning.
My stomach. It hurts.
Blood loss.
This is serious.
Infection. Sprains.
And don't forget being torn apart by a wolf.
Better than that.
Yes, Wolfus digestus, I believe is the medical term. Death isn't a matter of if, just when, isn't it?
Yeah, there's so many things you need to juggle just to stay alive. You really have to keep a close eye on all your vital stats, as well as how many calories you've got left to burn through.
And the more you move and the colder you are, the faster you'll burn through them, so it's tempting just to hold up in a cabin next to a fire. But of course you have to move to find supplies. Without wood to burn and food to eat, you're already dead. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation, and I quite like that.
Yeah, I think despite all the possible ways to die, the cold really is your biggest threat.
Damn. I'm freezing.
It's a constant foe. Even on a sunny, clear day, it's never what you'd call warm. Even huddled up next to a fire, the temperature doesn't ever get that far above zero.
It's a pretty sophisticated heat system too. As a fire burns, it slowly heats the room from the source of a flame. And things like the clothes you're wearing, wind speed, wind direction, they're all taken into account.
If you're far from shelter, you can start a fire wherever you'd like to warm up a bit. But starting a fire can actually be a bit of an ordeal. Not only do you need wood, but also matches and tinder just to get it going.
Yeah, and even with all that, you can fail making the fire in the first place, wasting all those precious fire-making materials.
Damn it.
Once you do get it going though, not only does it warm your bones, but you can use it to cook any meat you may have, or melt some snow and boil it to make some safe drinking water.
But snow isn't always so friendly. Those blizzards are harsh, aren't they?
Yeah, I know. But it's so nice when you're inside near a fire and you can hear that blizzard raging outside. It actually makes you feel kind of warm and toasty in real life.
I love how when you do find yourself stuck in a blizzard though, you literally can't see more than a few meters. There could be a hut or a shelter just ahead of you and you'd never know it. And you just know those wolves are out there and it's terrifying.
Especially when you have limited means to defend yourself. In the entire time I played this game, I only found one gun and about 5 bullets for it. Outside of that, you can use flares to keep wolves at a distance, but if they get too close, that flare isn't going to be much protection.
You can fight them off once they pounce, but even if you do get out of their grip, then you have to deal with stopping the blood loss and infection. If you don't have the first aid you need, then it's as good as a death sentence.
It does seem weird that I can't use some of the tools I already have as weapons. I already had a hatchet and a crowbar, but I can't use them to fight the wolves. The hatchet can only be used to boost your chance at foraging for wood, and the crowbar just opens locked chests. If video games have taught us anything, it's that crowbars make excellent weapons.
Absolutely. I definitely think in a survival situation, you should be able to improvise more.
Yeah, for sure. I like the challenge of this game, but I think it needs more tricks and let you be more creative with the tools you already have. I just want to go in all Bear Grylls or Han Solo with a deer carcass and sleep in it to keep me toasty throughout the night.
That's disgusting, but not a bad idea. I know what you mean though. I was actually a bit surprised that there isn't any kind of crafting system. At the moment you can harvest items to get raw materials and repair other items, but that's the extent of crafting really.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to MacGyver together some tools and weapons, or maybe even build a few traps. Surviving shouldn't be easy in a game like this, but I feel like you should be able to set up a bit of a home base and become a bit more self-sufficient. Right now, you're really just prolonging the inevitable death.
Yeah, I mean, there are multiple survival scenarios and of course that story coming, but even with this little slice, I did find myself just getting lost in trying to survive this very beautiful but bleak world.
Yeah, it's a good looking game, isn't it? I quite like that cel-shaded style. It feels a bit like Telltale's Walking Dead meets Skyrim.
I think the key with these early alpha survival games is just waiting to see how they're going to implement these brutal survival techniques in the larger game.
Yeah, absolutely. They're always so hard at first, but really that's just balance yet to come. Shall we go answer some questions at the Ask Good Game desk?
Yeah, let's.